You don't have to be. I'm not going to argue with the fact, but I'm just going to tell you this. The Bible said, with joy shall you draw waters out of wells of salvation. Amen. I believe you can be a Christian and be happy. Now, I'm not saying there's not some times that we're not going to face adversity. People who lost their jobs in here. They're not running around skipping about it. But I'll tell you what they're arguing. They're happy that the Lord's going to make a way for them. They're happy. Listen to what I'm saying today. Oh, have you ever just looked around and seen how many young girls and boys that you see today, and they're not serving God? You might pray a little bit around these altars, but when you really pray through, you're going to touch God. Let me tell you, in 1972, on August the 14th, I touched God in that little old building right over there. I mean, I got a hold of the horns of the altar, 19 years old. Amen. Not much older than some of you today, but I got a hold of something, brother, that changed my life completely. It took the wants out of my life, and it put a desire in my soul to go to heaven. Amen. There's been a lot of things come and go. There's been a lot of pitfalls. There's been a lot of things. Amen. I've been through this and been through that. Not no more than any of you been through. But nothing ever interested me like serving God does. Nothing ever been as precious to me. And my favorite thing is serving God and seeing people pray through. I got up this morning to answer a call and wound up going to the hospital at 4 o'clock in the morning. Got home somewhere around 6:30. I don't know what time it was. But I laid back down there wide awake. I thought I don't need to drink no coffee. I'll never go back to sleep. But I got wide awake, got cleaned up. Or I'll just lay here a few minutes, get up and get ready to go to church. Now as I was laying there, I began to study about this message. Brother Roger began to think about what had been the most happy moments of my life. Now seeing my children come into this world and seeing them saved and getting to baptize them, that's been some precious moments. Meeting Debbie in my life and marrying her at just 18 years old and having a good home and God blessing us, that's wonderful. And I'm thankful to God. It's very important that you meet the right one. And all those things are important. And all those things are precious. But you know, Mark, if I could tell you this morning my heart, and I could tell you the happiest moment I've ever spent in my entire life, was the night, brother, that I knelt on the end of that little altar. I sat right over yonder, a wretched sinner, an ungodly person, a man that had no hope for tomorrow. Amen, 19 years and 2 months old. Amen, I got up over that altar, and Jesus Christ had forgiven me of all my sins. Every lie that ever told was forgiven. Every time I ever committed any sin, I was forgiven. Everything that I've ever done wrong, it was forgiven. Amen. And I want to tell you something this morning. There was a peace flooding my soul. I don't know how the first verse felt, but I know how the second verse felt. It felt wonderful. It felt good to be cleansed. It was just like God took a big old rag and He washed me outside and then He washed me inside and He cleansed my life. That was the first greatest feeling I've ever experienced. The next greatest feeling I ever experienced, amen, was the day God spoke to my heart and said, I want you to preach my gospel. I want you to tell people about my love and my compassion. I can't tell you nothing good about me. There ain't much good about me. I can't tell you a lot of great things about this church, although there is a lot of great experiences. But I'll tell you what I can tell you. I can tell you about a Savior that loves you so much that He spread open His arms at Calvary and He took your place on the cross. I'm telling you this, that the devil works overtime to keep people, Brother Art Griffith, from finding the real pearl of great price. Oh, there's a lot of people today, they'll win this and they'll win that. They'll inherit this and they'll inherit that. I've seen boys that didn't have nothing, and somebody rich died and leave it all to them, and they're the happiest person that ever was. But you know, most of the time, those kind of people don't know what to do with it. They just spend it riotously, and it ain't long till they spend everything they ever inherited. But can I tell you this? When you find Jesus Christ, you find the pearl of great price. You find the gift of life. You find the peace that passes all understanding. And then when you get Him, you begin to go out and tell other people. And you know, one of the other great feelings that I experience is when I get to pray with a person that doesn't know Jesus Christ. Especially those, Brother Roger, that are so close to eternity. And they get right with God. And you watch. Oh, I remember one time, David and I went to Vanderbilt Hospital. There had been preacher after preacher after preacher didn't talk to this man. You know, if I ever missed anything, I miss her friendship. And man, I'm going to tell you, she could walk into a room and that quick. They won't throw me out if they let her stay. I could stay because they liked her. And you know, that's just how it was. We walked into this room that day. This family, this wife, this brother, and a sister was there. And they were all gathered around. And the nurse was in there. Make a long story short, Brother Roger, we got in the room. And when the nurse got done, she said, y'all can stay just a few minutes, but you don't need to be bothered. He needs all the rest we did. And so the old fellow was so weak he hadn't eaten days. And he said he's not responding very much. And he probably won't respond to you. So Dave got on one side of the bed and I got on the other. We began to talk to this little fellow. And I was hollering just as loud as I could holler. And I was down in his ear. He said, oh, how dare you do that man dying? He said, this man dying going to hell. I'll tell you how I do it. I picture what it'd be like if that's my daddy laying there. And God puts a spirit in my heart. And I go to work and pulling that person free. Amen. I began to talk to that old fella. And all of a sudden he started responding to squeeze my hand. I'd say, squeeze my hand if you hear me. He'd squeeze my hand. I said, I'm a preacher from Scottsville. I come down here to pray for you. And I'd say, squeeze my hand if you heard me. He'd squeeze my hand. But I looked over her eyes, just dancing. She's excited. Oh, we started talking with that man. Brother Taylor, we hadn't been there 5 minutes. I said, I'm going to pray for you, sir. And I'm going to ask Jesus to come in your heart. And if you can hear me, squeeze my hand again. We joined hands and laid our hands on that old man. He was laying there on his old side. His face was so wrinkled. His little jaws were sunk in. And we began to pray. Oh, it wasn't what we done. It was what he done. I felt something come in that room. Whoa! Yeah, I said he come into that room. And it just overshadowed that little frail body. Somebody said, I'll really get saved on the deathbed. You pay that fish somewhere else, buddy. You tell somebody else that joke. I said, don't listen. I believe God will save you. I believe when I get to heaven, that thief that was hanging on the cross is going to be there somewhere. I'll find him there. I'll tell you something else I believe. I believe those people that hung him on that cross, hang on now. I believe those people that hung him on the cross, if they saw God, they'll be there too. You know why I believe that? Because the most powerful prayer Jesus ever prayed was from the cross. Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. Oh, listen, brother. That's good enough for me. He wanted to just a minute. Come on, Brother Wilson. Oh, listen, he touched God. He heard him, and God touched that man. I tell you, could tell there was something happened. And I said, sir, can you respond to me? Can you tell me, did the Lord save you? And he muttered it out, yes. I said, is it right with God? He said, yes. His wife jumped almost over the bed. His brother was waving his hand. We were shouting at relief. Nurses are coming in to see what's going on. I guess people around other places think preachers are crazy. But I'm telling you, in a matter of minutes, a man went from on the road to hell and turned off and got on the road to heaven. Friend, the great commandment of Jesus is to go out into the highways and the hedges and compel them. Now listen, if I come over here and get Brother Jerry, and I said, go with me, he won't come. I said, Jerry, go with me. And he said, no, I just don't think I'll go. And I said, Jerry, come on and go with me. And he said, I ain't going. I said, now Jerry, come on, we're going to go now. I love you. I don't need to get rough with them. Just keep loving them. Keep taking by dinner. Make them a cherry pie. Do something for them. But get them to the house of God. One way or the other. If you get men to church, Brother Eddie Taylor preached one time, take them an apple pie and take it to them. I believe with all my heart tonight, Jesus is the same as some of you today. Tell the story that I placed in your heart. You don't have to know big words. You don't have to tell some big testimony. Tell the story, what I've done for you. I've never thought I was a great preacher. I've never thought my messages was over ankle deep. But I'll tell you what I do. I tell the story of what he done for me. I'm like the woman at the well. Amen. I ain't been married 5 times to somebody. I don't mean it like that. I ain't been out and done this and done that. Amen. But I'm like that woman at the well. Amen. He's done something for me that I never had nobody to do for me before. He saved me. He set me apart. And he gave me life.